Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Simple Flying's webinar with Dr. Nejib, the Vice President of Emirates Skywards, who's going to be taking us through the highlights of the program, the recent achievements, and history of a program that is now celebrating 30 million members. Extremely significant achievement, especially one for an airline of its size that carries passengers from practically every corner of the globe. And it's a pleasure to be talking to you today, Dr. Nejib. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Panjal. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me.
So I'm going to start off with what I just mentioned. Skywards is celebrating its 30 millionth member, and it's been in operation for almost over 2 decades. Could you walk us through what the journey has been like until now and why this is such a big achievement?
Yeah, so Pankaj, we really started the program in 2000, so it's been in operation for around 23 years, and the last 10 years we tripled the size of the program, taking it from 10 million members to 30 million members. We're blessed to be the loyalty program of an airline like Emirates that strives on excellent service, both on board and on the ground as well. So I would just say our task was somewhat made easy by being part of Emirates. Our job was to really make sure that people who are attracted to Emirates and to the brand and who are flying with us actually continue to do so. And our job was to capture the people who are traveling on Emirates and again, incentivize them to stay connected with the airline. Just to give you an idea, 30 million is obviously a huge achievement, but what we're proud of as a team is the fact that we also onboard around 300,000 members every month. And that's the pace at which we are growing right now. As a matter of fact, 30,000 of those, about 10% of those are actually US based. US is our highest growth base. It's now the second largest in the world with 3 million members.
You brought me right to my next question, actually. Of those 30 million, could you give us a rough geographical spread of where your members are located? You mentioned the US is sitting at about 3 million, one of the fastest growing sectors. So could you just walk me through that?
Yes, and we have, if you look at our top 5 countries, or 5 member bases, they span across the globe. And as you could expect for an airline of our size, that as you mentioned earlier, basically hits more than 150 destinations. As a matter of fact, as you know, we're also the loyalty program of Fly Dubai. And if you combine both airlines, we're talking about more than 200 destinations as well. So our top 5 member bases, UK is the largest. So unlike maybe other airlines who have a very strong domestic, for us, UK is our largest base with 4 million members, followed by the US, as I mentioned, with the 3 million members. And then you have the UAE, India, and Australia with 2 million members each. So you can see that 5 countries spanning the globe are actually constitute our largest member base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Those obviously being some of your highest served destinations as well, and the UAE being the hub. So it would make sense why your members are concentrated across those. We're obviously coming out of a very trying time for the industry. 2020, 2021, 2022 were still recovery years. But now that we're in 2023, I'm sure you're excited to see a recovery of the program, to see more and more people flying, to see more spending with the program. How have you seen that rebound taking place in the last 12 months or maybe slightly beyond that as well?
I mean, excellent rebound. I think we'll be publishing our results as an airline because our financial year goes from April to March. We'll be publishing them shortly, which shows that truly that we have recovered as an airline, both in terms of top line and bottom line. But from a member perspective, we are very proud to see that the Skywards members were first to come back when the airline reopened. These are the most engaged members as you could, or travelers as you could expect. Today, about 50% of the commercial revenue comes from Skywards members, and if you talk online, about 66% comes from Skywards members, which shows the level of engagement as well what we have with the airline, and the fact that our most loyal members were first to come back. It's interesting that you talk about the point of spending, as one of the things that happened while the airline was starting operation again, and at some point we even halted the operations. We continued to engage with our members and connect with them through our ground partners. And the spend has continued, throughout this period with our financial partners and with our everyday partners as well, the retail partners, etc. We've added so many to the program, whereby members continue to be engaged with us throughout this period. And when came the time to travel again, interestingly enough, the members accumulated enough wealth to start traveling again. And then what we've seen is, from a reward tickets, we've seen an increase versus pre-COVID of 40% in economy and 80% in premium. Just telling you how much wealth people have accumulated during the COVID, and we have the expired miles, etc. So truly, we continue to have that level of engagement.
No, absolutely. And I mean, as an Emirates frequent flyer myself, my miles were on moratorium until April 2022, if I'm not wrong. So I promptly redeemed those for a trip from Dubai to Orlando. So I was definitely one of those 80% who decided to finally redeem my miles after being stuck on the ground for over 2 years. But speaking of premium passengers, of course, premium passengers account for quite a significant amount of revenue, and Emirates having a large percentage of seats being sold as business and first class, with an emphasis on first class as well. How has this impacted the Skywards program? Because I know earning and spending both vary quite significantly between economy and the premium cabins. So have you seen that rebound come first in the premium cabins, or have you seen it kind of equally distribute?
I've mentioned the 40%, just from a reward perspective, 40% being in economy increase versus pre-COVID, and 80% in premium, so business and first. So that's one thing we've noticed. But in general, even from a commercial standpoint, we've seen premium leisure take off, and despite slowness maybe in business travel coming back, that has been more than replaced by premium leisure. The other thing is, Dubai has done such a phenomenal job during the pandemic that people continued to be attracted to Dubai. When we started flying again as a destination, they enjoyed an experience on in premium cabins. And when we added premium economy on few destinations, we've seen that also be extremely successful. On the destination where we added premium cabin, and some of the destination in the US now are going to be open soon, and therefore I think we're looking forward to seeing our US member base enjoy that as well. So it was across all cabins, I would say, and the load factors speak for themselves. Extremely high in the upper 80s, but that spreads across all cabins.
And it's interesting you bring up premium economy. Of course, Emirates is going through one of the largest retrofits programs in history to bring much of the A380 and 777 fleets up to the 4-cabin standard that's now on the newer A380s, of course. Speaking of premium economy, it's obviously a new cabin that's going to go for reward sales as well, with reward miles. In terms of pricing and flexibility, do you expect premium economy availability to be much more in the reward space? Do you expect it to stay in line with the current percentages by number of seats you sell in the other cabins? And what's been the appetite for redeeming for premium economy in particular?
So we haven't started really opening premium economy for reward seats right now. I mean, the load factor are such that right now we're trying to look at it, and demand, it's only open on very few destinations. You've mentioned the retrofit program. It's a $2 billion program that we're taking on for the next couple of years, more than 120 aircrafts going through. As we open more destinations, obviously we'll start looking at opening premium economy for reward seats. Right now we have a good proposition with the business class and first class, and that's an aspirational reward that most of our members look after, and we will continue to just do that. Just maybe we're the pricing on our business rewards and first class reward is I would just say is very attractive at this point of time. We're only priced it as twice. I mean, business is priced as right now 2.4 times the economy, and then first class is priced at around 4.5 premium economy, and that compared to fares that are priced more at 6 times, commercial fares that are 6 or 10 or 12 times when you talk about business or first, tells you that actually the reward proposition for our members is very attractive in premium cabin, and they're obviously that's what they're aspiring to. We have more availability in economy, obviously, and a lot of people take advantage of that, especially people who are flying with their family. And this is the one thing they appreciate is the fact that they have access to that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting you bring up the price differentials between economy, business, and first, because unlike many other airlines, especially those in the US and some in Europe, Emirates hasn't moved to a dynamic pricing model for its rewards just yet. So it is a flat rate. As long as there's seat availability, the mileage won't change requirement. Are you considering moving to dynamic pricing, or have you been able to find that sweet spot of revenue generation even with the fixed price chart model?
So with classic rewards, we want something that the members can just, have that in mind when we need some stability around it, and we've left that as it is. Same thing with upgrades, so people know what they need to do in terms of accumulating miles to be able to get these reward seats. By the way, we offer reward upgrades up to the time of departure on board and at check-in as well. 50% of our upgrades from F to J, from J to F, are actually on day of departure, and then about 30% of Y to J are on day of departure. So people know how many miles they need, and they accumulate these miles for the opportunity to be able to experience premium cabin. Now, it's interesting that you bring the dynamic pricing, because one of the categories that have seen an increase in terms of flight rewards for us is cash plus miles. And cash plus miles is not static rate. It is a rate where we try to kind of gamify it a little bit, whereby and we use promotions, what I call in-path. So when people are actually online are booking for a flight, depending on the flight load factor, depending on your tier status, how many miles you have, etc. We put promotional rates that allow people to just redeem their miles from the first mile they earn for a cash discount, quote unquote. So that part is dynamic, and I would think of it as really the dynamic cash plus miles that allows members to access any seat, any cabin, any day. So that stays dynamic. The classic rewards are more the champion rewards that we have within the programs that basically members know about and work towards. Now, I would say 3% of our members can afford truly either a classic reward, especially on long haul, a classic reward or an upgrade, simply both because of the number of miles, and again because of the fact that we have mostly long haul travel. Any members, and we've seen actually from blue to any tier member, they avail the cash plus miles, and in general they avail about 10,000 miles, which equates in general between $70 to $100, could go up to $200 in terms of a discount on a ticket. And that has become increasingly attractive to members. As a matter of fact, I think last year, nearly 20% of the flight of the miles were availed or were redeemed in cash plus miles category.
That's quite interesting that you bring that up, of course, because cash plus miles, it makes awards really accessible, especially when you may not have built up that 10,000, 20,000, 80,000 that you need for a long haul reward flight, but at least you're able to get some value out of your miles that you have accumulated over time. I guess my follow-up to that is you're testing out dynamic pricing on cashless miles. Do you see a future where it also goes over to classic rewards and flex rewards, or is that not on the books right now?
We're working through a massive technology upgrade right now, and working also closely with our revenue management colleagues to be able to make that happen. But it's something that we have in our plans, and we haven't acted on it yet. Our massive technology upgrade is coming in the next, let's say, 18 months to 2 years. And at that point, we will have a bit more flexibility in terms of what we do with rewards in general.
I understand.
But possibly, we'll go and we'll have a bit more flexibility on the earn and the redemption side for flights.
Okay, understood. So redeem your miles in the next 2 years if you can.
Well, I haven't said that. I haven't said that it's going to be more expensive or less expensive. I think we'll look at the market dynamics obviously and make sure that we continue to be very competitive and very attractive to our members.
No,
I mean, we really believe in the virtuous cycle of loyalty, and for us, we have to make things accessible so that people feel, that they are rewarded for their loyalty to us.
No, I understand. Thank you so much for your candor and explanation of that. Speaking of, you did mention while there are chart-based fixed price awards, the thing that does vary are taxes, and taxes can be particularly high, especially on long haul business class redemptions, even economy or even first class in some situations. There have been some reduction to taxes in the first cabin, but business class remains the same, creeping slightly upward. You could be paying north of $800 on long haul redemptions to the US. Do you believe that members are willing to pay this price? Do you see a future similar to other airlines where you can offset the amount that you're paying in taxes with, increasing the number of miles? So what is the rationale behind keeping taxes and fuel surcharges so high?
We are aligning totally with our commercial colleagues in terms of those surcharges that you're talking about, which usually it's the fuel surcharge that make that fee. So we're aligned with our commercial colleagues. As I mentioned, it's not something that we devise on our own. However, we allow for redemption of miles for these. So to your questions around, do we increase the number of miles so that we can cover for that? People can actually use their miles to offset that fuel surcharge. But we continue, as I mentioned, we're again looking at the market, also following or aligning totally with what we're doing on the commercial sides.
And
as well.
But you can only redeem up to a certain point, right? After which you have to pay a mandatory amount.
There is still,
There's always some.
Absolutely. So it's interesting. In the US, we have, as you know, a lot of financial partners, and as a matter of fact, 60% of the miles that are earned in the US or that are actually from financial partners. So 40% are from flights. And that allows our members maybe to have a certain wealth that allows them to again fly or get rewards for premium travel.
Understood. So you're saying these taxes and surcharges are mostly dictated by the commercial flying rather than any kind of additional revenue generation from the Skywards program. Okay.
This is a pass-through. This is mostly a commercial.
Understood. Yeah, and it's good to see at least surcharges coming down on some awards, like first class awards to Europe and the US. So hopefully that continues cascading down through all the cabins. But of course, Emirates is not just known for it's not just known as an airline as a flying, it's also become a brand. You fly to Heathrow, you see the massive A380 decoration outside. You watch a football game, you'll see it with Arsenal, and you see it all over the place, really. But there has been a notable few shifts away. The London cable car is no longer sponsored by Emirates. Formula One is no longer sponsored by Emirates. Is this part of a general strategy to scale back on sponsorships, or is it taking it as it comes and kind of reviewing the market as and when?
No, I mean, this is more a question for our corporate communication and marketing and brand colleagues. But in general, we maintain this focus on being a lifestyle brand and in investing in sponsorship that makes sense for us in the different countries we're serving. So, as you've seen some of these moving away from certain sponsorships, you'll see others coming in. We sponsor sports events, as you know. We're very, very strong in sports. The Rugby World Cup is coming in France in September. We'll be a big sponsor there. Of course, we sponsor tennis and a number of, including the US Championship. And so we continue to be strong sponsors. By the way, the Skywards members enjoy a lot this money can't buy experiences. We're one of the redemption possibilities through a platform that we call Skywards Exclusives, where you can have VIP experiences watching a football game, a cricket game, a rugby game, or horse racing. So we're we're offering that to our members either as courtesy for some of the highest tier members or available for people to redeem. We also have a bidding functionality there whereby members can bid for certain events that truly are exclusive. We've seen bidding for an India-Pakistan cricket game that went up to 1 million miles. And then we've seen some of the FA Cup games that has gone up to more than 200,000 miles. So this is a way for us to engage with our members and offer them access to these sponsored events and get them to see behind the scene and get a behind the scene experience.
No, absolutely. There are plenty of opportunities with your Skywards, even if you choose not to fly on Emirates. Yeah, thank you for that. I think moving back to an interesting thing that you just discussed is the value of financial partners, namely credit cards, of course, and credit card bonuses that you can accrue, and then redeem and then transfer those points or even directly collect Emirates Skywards. As you expand in the US, you have or in North America in general, your partnership with Aeroplan opened just a few months ago. As the United Airlines codeshare opens next month, that could likely lead to earning and redemption possibility as well. Is there a plan to expand more in the US? And then I'll touch about how important those partnerships are too.
Absolutely. So you mentioned a few on the financial partnerships where we've taken a bold maybe stand and having our own co-brand in the US in a market that is sometimes you think of it as a crowded market with very strong US carriers that have their own financial partners in there, but it has been very successful. Again, in relative terms, because we can compare ourselves to the US carriers and what they can offer in the domestic market, but we do have a level of engagement. And after 1 year anniversary of the co-brand that we've launched with Barclays, our Skywards Mastercard, and we have 2 variants of the co-brand there. 90% of the people who got the co-brand the first year around have renewed as well for the second year, which means that there's a level of engagement. And so we're very appreciative of that. We're seeing good traction there, and we continue to grow that financial partnerships. Along with that, we have 6 conversion partners, whether it's all the major ones that you can think of: Chase, Capital One, HSBC, Citi, Amex, and Brex as well. So we have all of these that we're working with, and we're seeing record numbers. So versus pre-COVID, we've seen 72% increase in the number of miles that got converted from these partners. Obviously, we increased the number of partners that we have, but we also there's a big traction for people to fly and use their miles for a premium experience with us. But beyond just the financial partners, which you can think of as more transactional, truly partners, we have launched a couple of things, again, aligned with our lifestyle stand, if you will, and aligned with the brand as well. Your World Reward, which is our Marriott Bonvoy partnership as well, which allows members to earn both on Marriott Bonvoy, but also on when they stay at hotels or fly, as well as earn miles, and then with exchange of benefit for the premium tier members on both programs. Extremely successful, by the way. 32% of the people who are in the Your World Reward program are US based. So that is really where we have most of the traction with that partnership. We've launched Skywards Miles Mall, which is, again, during COVID helped us a lot maintain that engagement level, because it's mostly about online retailers. So it has big brands like Macy's, Lowe's, Sephora, and others. And that, again, continues to grow. I think it grew versus pre-COVID level by about 16%. So it's something we continue to invest in. We have about 500 brands on Skywards Miles Mall for the US marketplace. We launched it also in the UK and the UAE. So we have that, and we also launched Skywards Hotels with about 400,000 properties. And that as well is a very attractive proposition So people can earn up to 10,000 miles just for one night in one of the hotels through Skywards hotels. By the way, we give 25% additional bonus miles when you use your Skywards MasterCard, US Skywards MasterCard to buy the hotel night. So we're trying to increase the number of partners. You've mentioned, of course, on the airline side, very excited about Air Canada. We've seen huge traction, more than 3,000 transactions in the first 3 months alone with Air Canada, and we expect even more with United, given the network that they will offer for our members. Yeah, so these are some of the ideas. We continue to look at the US. We have a relationship with Built, which is Built Rewards, which is again targets really more of the younger segment, which Dubai is also trying to attract as well. So we're looking continuously, because 3 million members in the US, we have to really provide them with an opportunity to earn and burn as well.
No, absolutely.
Beyond the airline. Yeah.
And I think it is interesting because, of course, the US tends to be the highest spending, highest revenue markets for many programs, just in terms of the amount of consumer spending that goes into air travel year on year. What is interesting, obviously, is that once your partnership with United comes online, we saw the big 3 US airlines and really programs across the world use the pandemic and their loyalty programs to leverage as much revenue as possible. So if that meant directly selling consumers points, trying to give off in their points bonuses and buying miles directly. I know Emirates Skywards also offered a variety of sales during those early days of the pandemic to kind of, keep inflow of revenue. And even now you see a lot of opportunities in terms of purchasing miles or even selling miles directly to these credit card companies and to any other partners that you may have. So do you see that as a strategy? Is that something that Skywards employed heavily during the pandemic to kind of shore up revenue?
Yes, we did, and we continue to be very targeted. I think this is one area where we do a lot of personalization, if you will. We understand truly who these members are, who have the propensity to take on some of these offers. And we don't want to just do a blast offer to everybody. We're usually very targeted on terms of offers, and on a monthly basis, we have campaigns, and we gamify these campaigns a little bit for us. And we've seen, really a good increase in terms of take up for these. And when I look sometimes at our open rates when we send these emails, because they are targeted and very relevant and personalized, we're 4x compared to your generic emails that are sent, even a fair-led email. So it just seems that strategy is working, and we're continuing to analyze and use data for us to understand better that level of engagement with members. But truly, that has been also a good contributor to our bottom line.
Yes,
and top line.
Yeah, and in terms of your financial partners, did you employ the strategy of leveraging your program, selling bulk miles to all the big credit card firms in order to transfer earlier, or is that something you didn't really consider?
Truly, we haven't done that in the US. We've done it in the UAE, our home market as well. But it's something that we regularly look at, because we have these requests coming from some of these partners, and we just look into that and see how we can. I mean, it's depending again on the market, the point of sale, and the market conditions. We do it again occasionally.
Yeah, understood. And I think we're running out of time, so I'll ask you a final question to wrap up. In terms of consumer feedback you've gotten, especially since after the pandemic, what are the changes that people have enjoyed the most with Skywards, and what are you most excited in the future that the program is bringing?
Sure. First of all, I think we got people were very grateful for the extension in terms of status. We're also not one of those airlines where we had the status cliff, if you will, because we've done what we call a soft landing for our members. So for a period of time, first of all, we've extended status for a couple of years, and then after that, we allowed members to actually re-qualify based on half of the thresholds, and also double the number of tier miles that they would be earning. By the way, just something else that came to my mind is we've launched Skywards Plus. I'm just saying this, Skywards Plus, which is a subscription model. The US base is the second largest in terms of engagement and adoption of the Skywards Plus product. It's been very successful for us. Very interesting is that 40% of the people who've taken Skywards Plus are gold members, and the reason is, and they're taking the premium package, about $999 package, simply because that allows them to accelerate their tier and for them to retain status, which is an indication that people continue to engage with the program, are very interested, and value the benefits that they're receiving, whether it is lounge access or baggage allowance or priority in check-in, etc. So from that standpoint, I think we've been successful, and again, our members were very happy to see us understanding their situation and helping them throughout, again, regaining and requalifying as well. In terms of going forward, I mean, it's very, very important for us as we're allowing members to get more and more miles, to give them more redemption choices and flexibility as we go forward, and we're working continuously to improve on that. Very soon we'll be launching or relaunching Skywards Every Day here in the UAE for a local market, engaging with a number of retailers who would be using Skywards as a currency. And this is a mobile platform that allows people to just walk into a store, link their cards, and earn miles with some of these retailers. It is possible for us to just take the experience that we would have in the UAE to other markets as well, where we have a good member base as well, to provide our members with another way for earn and burn.
Yeah, that's interesting. And just a final thing, because you brought up the subscription service as well. We've seen a few airlines actually launch subscription services that either allow you to accelerate status, pick up a whole tranche of miles over the span of a year, or just generally be in the program instead of, doing high revenue flying, paying an upfront fee instead. What kind of success have you seen with these subscription programs? You mentioned that gold members are the ones who've been heavily invested in this, which is interesting because logically you're thinking people who are trying to get into the program and achieve their first status quickly. But what kind of made this pivot to the subscription programs? And is this something you want to continue in the future as well?
Absolutely, and we're going to do more around it. We learned through the first phase of us launching the program. Unfortunately, COVID hit, so that it skewed a little bit the numbers. For us now, we're looking at this 1 year post-COVID to see how the members are interacting, which benefits they are interested in. It's a very rich program. I mean, we have a basic package, and we have a medium-sized package, and then have the premium package. As I mentioned, the high premium members, so gold, silver, platinum, are interested in the premium package mostly because of the tier and of the tier acceleration, but also because they get 20% off rewards and upgrades. So it's very interesting for them to just be in that. Now the blue members are interested in the basic package, which is an entry price of $399. That allows them to get benefits like baggage and lounge access, etc. So it's for us to find the sweet spot in each one of those and enrich those subscriptions. But for now, we've gotten really a good feedback on that, and we're going to continue to grow it. And then it's something that's attractive, obviously, for our UAE base, but also, as I mentioned, US and UK are second largest when it comes to subscription.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Nejib, thank you so much for taking the time out. It was a pleasure speaking to you today.
Thank you so much, Pranjal.
In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.